Let's get some commotion for the book case. We've got our favorite books. We've got the prettiest editions of our favorite series right up here. Yes, yes. And then we've got the sprayed edges. Yes, yes, yes. Woo! Give it up. Woo! The crowd goes wild. Hello. Current and future best friends. I'm in a really tight space, so if you hear any like weird sounds, it's because my body is brushing up against all my garbage that's piled up. Check the look. This came to me in a dream, and it was supposed to be opaque, but it's not, and we're not going to worry about it. And yes, I am naked before you. No nails. I know. I might as well start an OnlyFans. What am I doing? Hi, current and future best friends. My name is Janae. This is the Donnie Mills channel where we talk about reading and writing. And I am here today because I am not going to finish any of my queer, gay, sapphic, I'm not going to finish any of my reading vlogs before the end of June. At least before tomorrow, which is the last Saturday in June. I mean, we read queer all year. Baby, we read diverse all year. We try to read diverse all year. If you've seen my recent stats video, you know that your girl be taking L's. If I'm not being intentional, if you don't go into your reading with intention, if you just grab whatever's on the bestseller list or like the front page or like the front, you're going to end up with a lot of white shit, you just are. So try to be more intentional, but not the point, I guess kind of the point. The point is I wanted to talk to you about some of my favorite gay books in existence and some of the gay books on my TBR that I am desperate to get to. Okay, yay. So let's get into it. So let's start with any physical books that I've got that are my favorite gay books. So you already know. We gotta talk about the goat. We gotta talk about the girl. Miss Fifth Season by Miss N.K. Jemisin. Now this is not a romance, but about 50% in at some point, around the middle, I would say, this book does begin to center a queer throuple. Spoiler alert. And that queer throuple is like the cornerstone of what is happening in this book. So, and the queer characters continue on throughout the rest of the series. Oh, let me get my coffee. Girl, what the fuck am I doing without my coffee? I just showed you that mug because I really like that mug. I count this as a gay book because, again, a queer relationship is at the center of it, even though it's not a romance or anything. What else? Unfortunately, Queen's Thief series, Percy Jackson series, and the Lunar Chronicles, no gay characters. I read these books these books became my favorites when I was younger, so they're less likely to be gay. The books I just read! Okay. Darius the Great is not okay, and Darius the Great deserves better by Adib Karam. That's just me reading phonetically. That does not mean that is actually what this person's name is. I'm just going with Hooked on Phoenix. What? Hooked on Phonics, okay? I just finished this, and I don't know if the series is over. I don't think the series is over. Not with where we ended. I don't think the series is over. I think the series is going to keep going. And I cannot wait to read book 3. Everything about these books is so good. I believe it's YA. It's got young characters, but Darius is such a great character. He's my favorite. He's so sweet and kind and wonderful. And yes, my king is always crying. You know why? Because he's allowed. Let him cry. Like, I love that. Like, we're gonna take a male character, a cis male character, at the center of a YA story, and we're gonna let our king cry. Like, I have never read a story like that in my life before. So shout out to Adib for, I'm so sorry if I'm not saying your name right. Okay, I almost had it right. It's Adib Karam. Okay. Adib Karam is giving it for this one because Darius is everything. Like, him discovering his racial identity, his queer identity, like understanding his depression, like all of these things, his family dynamic, like all these things that Darius is going through really spoke to my heart and touched me and are so important to me and mean so much to me. Darius. I don't know. It's just, there's something about, like, I think that when I think that I always think that I'll like adult lit fic because I enjoy YA realistic fiction perfectly fine. And I think I still will find that genre of adult fiction that I do like. I think that it's just like a lot of adult lit fic. The girls be trying a lot to elicit this emotional reaction, and it's like, just write a good story. Just write a good story, girl, and then you will get the reaction that you want, you know? Not sponsored. So yeah, Darius the Great, that was an amazing, amazing journey. So I have a list on my story list. Follow me if you're on Storygraph. Janae, Janae, and I can, whenever I'm looking at a book, I'll see your rating for it, and I'll be like, ooh, does so-and-so recommend it, you know? On Storygraph, instead of shelves like guardians, you have tags, which is actually immensely much more helpful for me. And I have a tag called Great LGBT. I'm trying to read as many queer books as I possibly can because I need me that good gay content to just seep into my aura, my soul, my mind, everything. When I'm reading LGBT books, I am marking what I think is great. So let me go to that list and see what I have there. Obviously, we got Darius. Oh, girl. It's going to be Gideon the Ninth, Harl the Ninth, and Nona the Ninth. That is my shit. Here's what I know. I know that the Lock Tomb series is incredible. I know that the lesbian representation is unparalleled. And then the storytelling, and then don't take one step closer. You sold me. You already know. Like, if you've been on BookTube, Book Talk, anything, you know Gideon the Ninth is the shit. If you haven't read it, you know that you should be reading it. You know that you should have read it already. You know. You already know. Cemetery Boys. Where's Cemetery Boys? Blap. This shit goes. Here's the thing. If you don't like YA, you're not gonna like it, right? Because it is based on young characters. But if you like magic, if you like, coming of age, and if you like YA with a good ending, you'll love it. You'll love it. It's a really beautiful story. Aiden Thomas is a fucking genius. Aiden Thomas, you did that. Just look at this cover again. Look how gorgeous. I do have a reading blog on this book, by the way, so you can see my reactions in real time. And they are quite extra, because that's who I am as a person. This is why I want to read so many gay books, is because I haven't read enough. The Song of Achilles, boring in the middle. I'm gonna be real with you. It is boring in the middle, but the ending made me sob. Absolutely, like, unconsolable, the ending. And if you've seen the quotes floating around about Achilles, the quotes, the confession of I can't take it. Now, Totally Joe was the Misfits #2, and that's by James Howe. And I gave that 5 stars, but it's published in 2005, so you best believe I probably read it in 2005. So I cannot necessarily say that, like, oh, this is a 5-star for like an adult to read, but for a kid to read, probably. Because I remember something I remember very strongly about that was, like, Joe was crying, just saying, I just want to hold his hand. And I remember being like, bro, like, we just be wanting to hold hands. Like, y'all be so mean about niggas wanting to hold hands. Like, what the fuck? The ring light makes me crazier than I normally am. I can tell you that for free. Simon versus the Homo sapiens, of course, a classic. You might call it a little bit basic, but I think what's beautiful about Simon versus the Homo sapiens. Wait, did y'all hear about the man pretending to be a lesbian online so he could write sapphic romance? Choke. Not important. And when I say man, I'm not talking about, this is not some transphobia shit. I'm literally talking about, like, a cis man admitted to being a cis man. It was like, I just wanted to pretend to be a lesbian. Fuck off. AC something. Anyway. Simon vs. the Homo sapiens, I think what was really impactful for me about this book, I did read this when I was younger. When did it come out? 2015? I probably read it in 2018, 19, sometime in college. Or right out of college. And I remember what really impacted me was the acceptance of his parents. Oh, that hurt. That hit deep. It hit me right here. It got me. White Houses by Amy Bloom. Cute story, very fun. Not even cute. It actually was sad as fuck. You know what I think? What the Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo did for y'all is what White Houses did for me. Let's say that. Because all this like chaotic, sad, like complex lesbian romance. For me, the Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo felt very straight with it. It just, I don't know, something about it felt very like I'm a straight person writing about this. White Houses felt very lesbianic. That was some gay shit. And I did give that 5 stars. It is historical. It is about Eleanor Roosevelt and her longtime lover. And it is just a really interesting take. It's really interesting. Great writing, great story. Love it. It's only 181 pages. So like, girl, what do you have to lose? Poison Ivy Thorns by Cody Keplinger and Sarah Kippen. I think a lot of people have read this one. I gave this one 4 stars. And I just think it was nice that it just had that beautiful sapphic like moment in the middle. You know, it wasn't the core of the story, but it was at the core of the story. Also, shout out to She-Ra and the Princesses of Power. I know that's not a book, but like shout out, you know? Now, what I'm going to do now is this is my list of great LGBT books, like books that I would recommend. Like if somebody came to me and they were like, what's some gay books? I would recommend those to them, right? But let me take a look at what I have read in general that is LGBT that I might also want to talk about, just because it's not on my great LGBT list. Because off the top of my head, I can remember the drama series. I read that as a kid. Was it good? I don't know because I was really young when I read it. So I can't stand by it and say whether or not it was good. But when I tell you, I was eating that up. Sopping it up with a biscuits. Oh, I remember those books by that one person, Will Grayson. No memory of what that book was like. Did I even rate it? Let's see. David Levithan and John Green. And I didn't rate it. I am planning to reread it though. But speaking of David Levithan, there are a bunch of books by David Levithan that I have wanted to read that are gay. My dudes stay writing some gay shit. I remember that Boy Meets Boy is a book that I really want to read, that I've wanted to read for years. I've wanted to read Boy Meets Boy for years. I'm pretty sure it's in my Nook right now. Every Day by David Levithan is about like a non-gendered being that wakes up in a different person's body every day. And this non-gendered being is in love with a woman or a girl. And, I remember that was definitely an early stepping stone to me kind of understanding that gender isn't a thing when reading that, because it was just all about like, I don't know. I haven't read it in a long time, but I remember I really liked it. I didn't review it. Apparently I read it in 2012 and didn't review it. And I used to not review books constantly. There's a Will Grayson number 2. There's a second one. Okay. Girl, I'm adding things to my to read at this point. My TBR is 5,000 plus books long. And you know why that is? Is because every gay book that I hear about, I just go, to read, because I'm a fool. I'm just going to look for all the LGBT books that I have read. Oh no, 10%. Oh no, 10%. Okay, I'm going to have to come back later. And I'm only at 30%. So let's get through this quickly. And I'm going to try not to talk about gay books that I don't really have anything to say about. The Color Purple, incredible. Gorgeous, incredible. Trigger warnings for literally everything. But incredible. Honey Girl is so good. It's so good. It's crazy. It's insane how good it is. Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers. Heartstopper is cute. House of the Cerulean Sea is unfortunately racist. Night Sky with Exit Wounds I didn't rate, but I remember being confused by it, but I remember enjoying it. Take a Hint, Danny Brown. It's a man and a woman, but the woman is bisexual, and she is my girl crush. Like that girl crush. My book crush. Like my book wives are Gideon, Nav, and Danny Brown, for sure. I do not remember Nimona being gay at all. The Miseducation of Cameron Post, I remember reading that in community college, but I was still high school age. It was very white girl, but at the same time, it was very, like, it showed me a lot about who I am. Oh, The Misfits #1 was gay, too. I love that. Okay, so that one got a 4 for me. Apparently, I've read Goddess by Kelly Gardiner. No memory. Not one memory, so I'm going to reread it. These are books I've read? Are you sure? what I'm going to do now is talk about my physical TBR that's gay, because yes, there is a lot on my 5,000 book TBR. Let's get the exact humiliating, ridiculously stupid number. 6 books until I'm back on track for my reading goal. Love that. It has reached 6,054. 6,054 books on my TBR. Why? Why am I like this? Tell me, baby, why am I like this? Queer books on my physical TBR. We'll just kind of do what's on this shelf, because this is the one y'all can see. A Marvelous Light, A Restless Truth. These are both Regency books. And yeah, I did get the ones with the sprayed edges. Fucking obviously. Ah! Fuck. That is a fucking heirloom from my dead father, so let's not break that, guys. I think this one is gay. Check out the edges. But I don't know in what way. This one I've heard is gay. Ooh, look at her. Look at her. She's gorgeous. 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 But it's Martha Wells' Witch King. I've heard that's gay. That came in my first ever Illumicrate box. Juniper and Thorn is gay. Heard this one is really good. This one I know is gay, and I know I should have read it already. I know that. I need to get to it ASAP. I get the feeling that this is going to give me the same feelings as Darius the Great. Like, not necessarily the exact, but just that like good YA. Good YA that's like cross age. She Who Became the Sun. I know this is gay, and Illumicrate is coming out with the sequel, and that's going to be gay too, I'm pretty sure, so I'm going to cop that. This might be gay too. I'm not sure, but I think it is. I think it's gay. 7 Faceless Saints, M.K. Lobb. I know for a fact the Jasmine Throne and the Oleander Sword, these are gay. I know that they're gay, sapphic, as a matter of fact. Legends and Lattes. The Last Night at the Telegraph Club and A Scatter of Light, both by Melinda Lowe. Girls of Paper and Fire, and she's beautiful, and I'm pretty sure this is gay. And finally, for gay books on my physical TBR, we have The Bone Witch. Now, I'm sure there are many more, because frankly, I buy books just because they're gay. I mean, I'm reading Cinderella's Dead right now. I've got a stack over here, The Unbroken by C.L. Clarke. I've got a stack. I've got stacks and stacks. There's a bunch of Regency romances, The Duke and I, not The Duke and I, A Lady for a Duke, that's one. The Gentleman's Vices. There's a billion, but I was at 30% and there's already so much going on. So, A Dowry of Blood, that's on my TBR. It's over here. I'm not picking it up. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so tired. It's because I drank a vat of coffee on like one food, and my body is like, girl, what are we doing? So, I'm gonna say ciao for now. Thank you for taking a moment with me and my silly little brain. Let me know, what are the gay books that you are just rabid to get to on your TBR? What are the gay books that I mentioned in this book? Have you read any of them? What did you think? And if you didn't like them, don't tell me, because most of them I've already bought. And I can't return them. So don't tell me if you didn't like them. Yeah, I hope you're having a great everything. I hope this video helped make it good. And with all the love in my heart, bye. Happy Pride Month. Bye.